all entrepreneurs want to know how to fund my business. Do you have any, what do you tell your clients? Because I'm sure you get asked this all the time.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
I do. When I have coaching clients who are wanting to get into business, so generally they're W-2'd, and either they're dissatisfied with their job or they just see a bigger vision. And so they want to get into business. So the first question is always, how do I fund this business? And the best answer is as little as possible, right? So that's the key in business when you start, right?
Oh, they hate to hear that.
I know, nobody likes to hear that. Everybody thinks there's going to be some venture capitalist who sends you a blank check and you're just going to fill it in. And let me tell you, if they do send it to you, you've just sold your soul. So, it's not even actually the dream. That's really not the dream. The dream is that you're going to own your business, you're going to control it, and you're going to put its funds in your pocket, right? So the more control you can keep over that business from the very beginning, the better. So the best place to get the funds straight out of the gate is yourself. The other thing that does is it causes you to use those funds a lot more wisely, because those are funds that you earned, right?
Yeah.
That's your skin in the game. So now, instead of, maybe doing some stuff that's, a little more out there, when it's your money, you're going to be making smarter decisions. So my first answer is always yourself. You're the best place to go. When I say that, though, and when I work with individual clients, the big caveat is that we don't go all in. So you want to go all into your business. You can put your heart, your soul, everything into it, but not all your money. Not every last dime. So you're not pushing all your poker chips to the table here right now. You're going to keep something for yourself. You're going to keep something as a fallback. And that's when you're financially savvy. That's a big element of it, that you're playing a long game. So you're excited about this business. You're gonna fund it yourself to the extent that you can. And you're going to keep something in reserve for yourself. So that's the first place that you go to get funds, and you want to be super careful about how you use those funds, because there's not some unending stream. You're not standing next to a stream where fish are just going to keep swimming by and you're going to keep plucking them out of the water, right? You're only getting so much money to start this business. So go ahead. It sounds like...
Yeah, I think one thing that I think, I advise the same thing to people, but at the same time, what I'm never certain about is how should a person assess their own risk tolerance? Mm-hmm. Like how much money they can put in? Like, how do you advise them on that?
That's great. I have a whole chapter in my book called Exit Plan. So I sort of take it from the back door. So I say, so let's say this business doesn't fly. And it's not fun to talk about that in the very beginning, but let's just say it doesn't. Let's say this one doesn't fly and you have to move on to another business. What is going to be left in your pocket when these doors close? And I come from a bankruptcy background, and I filed a ton of bankruptcies for small business owners. And I can tell you what happens a lot is there's nothing left. So business owners have they've racked up all the credit debt they can to fund their business. They've put a second on their house. They've cleaned out any savings they have. They've cleaned out every retirement account they had. It's brutal. And so they'll come, when I was a bankruptcy attorney, sit in my office, and I tell them, okay, I can handle all the debt, and that's great, but I can't create income for you, and I can't get back your retirement accounts, I can't get back your savings, and that second on your house is still going to be there. It's just brutal what people will do. So when people are asking me, how far should I go? We always want to go around the back and say, so if we're going to close this down, what's going to be left for you? Because I've had people walk out of my office and say, I don't know how I'm feeding my family tonight. Because I call it riding the train into the wall. I just rode this thing all the way into the wall.
Yeah, and there is this mentality, right? Because the business is not doing well, but you have this like, oh my God, what if I do this? What if I do that? Yeah. And then by the time you know it, you spend a long time on it, and it's a trap. Like, it's a mental trap, and you're like, you spend so much in, financial resources, but also so much of your time went down this business. It happens a lot.
So I have people write down their exit plan. So in their exit plan, they talk about, this is how much I'm going to still have in retirement. I've drawn the line about, either encumbering my house or not encumbering my house. This is how much savings. Because most people have gone into the business and they're spending all their effort in the business, so they're not employed anymore. So if the business goes down, they have zero income. They have nothing. And so we want to make sure that we give them at least a couple months where they can, go find something to start to feed. It depends. If you're a single guy, then, that's a different story. But a lot of people have families. I mean, it becomes very scary very quickly.
Yeah. For my taste, I almost advise give yourself way more of a cushion.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's play money, but that should be your very small percentage of your savings. For me at least, I'm more of scared. I'm not into taking
it's that risk tolerance, right? Yeah, you don't have a high tolerance for this. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially even when I run a business, I always want to know if I even put some money into something, that's definitely going to make more money come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just dumping money into something, even if it's affordable. Yeah, I just have that kind of mentality ingrained.
And I think we see that more with people who are self-funding their business. When that money comes from your sweat and blood, all of a sudden we're having a different discussion about how we're going to spend it.
Yeah, and I think I do see many people who have these lofty ideas, very much in parallel is I'm going to raise money from an investor, right? And then because it's not hitting home. It's I play money from someone else's.
Yeah,
not the right strategy.
Yeah,
cool.
Well, and you pay for that. I mean, you take investor money, and there are strings, big strings.
There's strings, but you get to play around with somebody's money, and it's way better than losing a ton of your own.
It is. So it kind of depends what your business model is too. I mean, you want to bootstrap whenever possible. Sometimes it's not possible. I mean, if you have a super big vision and you need big money to make it happen, I mean, then you got to go outside. Absolutely.
People who want to start a restaurant, it's it's not possible.
Don't start a restaurant ever.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my advice. Never. If you want to start a restaurant, just go do something else. Anything else.
Isn't it the worst absolute business?
It's a brutal business. Can I tell you how many bankruptcies I filed for restaurant owners? It's brutal.